Okay, so I'm going to do a couple recordings here. This is the first one. Just kind of introduce everybody to the Sam's Club project and the information we have out here. So I'm going to start by I'm going to show you where Sam's Club is at. So if you go to our Blackboard class site, you come down here. You see in the right above the syllabus we have Sam's Club. So if you click on that, what we've got is a couple different things here. All right, so um, we have some documents here, and we'll be going through all of these as we a bit at a time. All right, different steps. But what I've got here is there's a couple different versions of the Sam's Club database, but I think any one of these are going to work. Just need to do is just click on it. And what it will do is it'll download a zip file. The first one is about 90 megabytes or so. So it takes a minute or so to complete. So this is actually, so what's in this zip file is an Access database that has the Sam's Club information on it. So what I'm going to show you in this video is just downloading it. I'm going to unzip it, and we're going to take a little bit of a tour, okay? And then we'll on subsequent videos I'll come back in and we'll kind of start exploring more around querying data and the stuff that we're going to need to do in order to work on the dashboard. Okay. Okay, that's completed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on it, and what I will do is I will actually let me put this on the desktop. Just so I know where it's at. Okay, so let's go to the desktop, and then we look down the bottom here. We have a file samsclub.accdb. So that ACCDB stands for Access Database. All right. If I double click on it, what it will do is it will fire up Microsoft Access. It'll open up the database. Now I'm running on Office 2016, but I believe this will work with this database will work, I think, from anything from Access 2007 on up. All right, so we're not limited to having to be on a particular version. All right, so what I have here, if we look over, this is Access, and this is our database. So what we have here is a couple tables. All right, so we have a members table, we have an item scan table, we have a store visit table, and we have an item description table. All right. So if we want to look at the individual tables, all you do is you just double click on the table, and it will pull that table. It'll expand it out. So the way we would look at this is there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields in the members table. All right. So we have a membership number, we have a zip code, we have a membership type, we have a renewal date, and we have a join date. All right. Now, what this database is basically designed to do, the four tables here are designed to, um, just a little bit of a background. Four tables here are part of the Sam's Club, Sam's Club membership. So Sam's Club is a store that has membership. So you have a membership. Every person who comes into the store has a membership number assigned to them. Um, we have we have a listing of all of the members that did purchasing of um, from the Sam's Club on a particular within a particular time frame. All right, so it looks like it's going to be 2000 through 2001. So there are 15,375 records in this table. All right. So this is the renewal date. So this would be considered a master data. All right. So there's 15,000 members out here. All right. Then we have an item description table. All right. So these are all the different things you can purchase. And here's our description, brand name. All right. It has a category number, item number, category number, some type of subcategory, a primary description, secondary description, and a brand name. All right, and we have just about 4,000, 3945 records in this table. All right. Then we have a store visit. So the logic around this is every time a customer goes in to buy something, we record the visit. All right, so if we look at this, this will have a visit number. We assign visit number. The cash register who took that number, the membership number, the tender type, which is I guess how they paid, tender amount, sales tax, total visit amount, the transaction date. Okay, scanned amount. So this gives us a breakdown of all of basically the activity that a particular member did on a particular date. All right. And who had made payments. All right. So there's 40,000 records. So we recorded 40,000 activities. And then finally, we have an item scan table. So we double click this. This is made up of all of the purchases that members had made across all of these different days. So what happens is this store visits, we have the key on this is the visit number. All right. The item scanned table also has the visit number on it. Okay, so the idea is there was a many-to-one relationship between the store visit or one-to-many. So at each store visit will have multiple items scanned in it. All right, and then the item description and the member numbers are really the kind of a master data containing more detail around who the customer is and what they bought. All right, but the real activity, the stuff we've got is the store visit and the item scanned. And you can see here in the item scanned, almost 200,000, 198,772. So that's a pretty significant number of items. All right. So what we're going to be doing is taking this data that we've got in this database and we're going to analyze it. Basically, what we want to do is ask some questions. We're going to query. So let me do a real quick demonstration of a query here, and then we'll do more. Or actually, I'm going to do another recording of showing more emphasis, more details around some of this stuff. But what we'll do is we'll do a create, and there's a query design. All right, so what we're going to be working with in large part here is going to be this query design tool, which basically is a tool by which we can create, a request to extract data out of the system, all right, or out of these different tables. So I'm going to do query design. So I have 4 tables here. So let's look at store visits and item scan, because these are the two. These are really the one to many relationship. All right. Just double click on it, it'll pull up into this area. So the way we look at this right here, so this is a query, which is a type of object. All right. This top area is where we put the tables we're going to process. So these actually scroll down. Same here. We see all the fields. All right. So what we're going to do is, we're going to join these 2 tables together and then do the results. So the way you do a join, basically how you link them together. So you have a common field that are between these 2, actually defines the relation. So in this case, the visit number is really what we're taught, how these things are tied together. So what we'll say is, I'm just going to kind of drag this over. You'll see a line here. All right, so what we're saying with this is we're tying the visitor number, or the visit number. We're going to be looking for everything that's equal, where the visit number equals the visit number across the 2 tables, from stored visits and items scanned. All right, so what we'll do is, let's take a look. So we'll do the visit number. So if you just double click on it, it'll come down here into this grid. All right, and we'll look at the transaction date, transaction time, and we'll just leave that there for that. And then what we'll do here is we'll put the item number, put an item quantity, and the total scan amount. And actually, I'll put the transaction date. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so we've got this out here. So what I'm going to do now, and then I'm going to execute this query. So the way we read this is, I've got 2 tables, so I've linked 2 tables together across a common key, the common key being the visitor number. So, it basically says, join these 2 tables together where this visit number equals this visit number. All right, and what we're going to bring back is, for every line, everything we find, we're going to bring back the visit number, we're going to bring back the transaction date out of this table, and we're also going to bring the item number, the item quantity, the total scan amount, and the transaction date that's in this. So what we should see is, expectation would be the transaction date here should also match the transaction date here. All right, we're going to execute the query. All right, so in effect, what this is going to do is, it's going to match the contents of this table to this table. All right, I'm going to click a run. All right, and I got a result. So what this is the result of the query. So it looks like another table. And actually, it can be viewed almost as another. It can be viewed as and processed like it is another table. All right. So what we got here, here's our visit number. Now, if you'll note, this is not necessarily, is this in order? I think this is, yeah, I think this is sorted then. All right, 198,772 records. All right, so it should match the item scan, which is the larger table. All right. Now, what we should see here, look, so we have the visit number. What we'll see here, we'll see a couple of duplicates, well, seemingly duplicates. 10, 10, 10. Because what we get is we get one record for each item that was scanned. And we can scan multiple items per visit. Excuse me. For each visit, there can be multiple items. So we're actually have a one-to-one. We have a one-to-one relationship. Okay. Now the other thing that's interesting when we look at the item quantity here. You'll see a quantity field, which is, I believe that is from the, you can actually pull, well, it depends if you're on 16. This is what 16 looks like. Item scan, the item quantity we pulled from the table. So we pulled it from the item scan table. So what that is going to show us is that's actually pulled directly from that table. We'll do scan amount. That's a dollar amount. This is the date. The date should match. So it's 198,000. So we've got a fairly, we're going to have a fairly long list here. All right. So what we'll see, so what we've done is, and you can come back here on the view. So this is what is known as a datasheet view. All right, so the results of the query. We can move it back to what we call the design view. So when you create the table, when you create the query, you first go in and create it in a design view where you're kind of setting all the stuff up. When you execute it, it'll execute the query and then return the results in datasheet view. All right. So if we take a look back now, let's go. To our Sam's Club. There's a couple things here you want to take a look at. Just get familiar because we're going to be this is the database we're going to be working with to pull data out of to create our dashboard. All right, so we want to kind of get a little bit familiar. So what we have here is the ERD. So I'm basically just going to show you the ERD real quick, and then that'll be the end for this video here. All right. So this is what we call a ERD, or entity relationship diagram. All right. So what this shows is basically the rules. When we talk about databases, are the rules. This is the structure of the tables and how they are related to each other. Okay, so what we see is the store visits and the item scans are aligned on the visit number. The item description and the item scanned are aligned on the item number. And then the membership code in the store visit lines up with the membership code that's in the members table. All right. So what has to happen is, in order to join this stuff together, or join tables together, you have to match field to field. All right. And they have to be able to, and they have to be equal to each other. So the idea is, what it will do is it will match everything that's in this table, that matches everything that's in this table from from a membership number, where the membership number is. All right, and you'll see this kind of icon here, this infinity. This represents a one-to-many. So for each one store visit, we have many items scanned. All right. For each item number, so this is like the master record, kind of detailing the information. We've scanned many items, because basically when you're buying a whole bunch of stuff. So you'll see multiples of that. So that's where the one-to-many relationship comes in. And the similar thing with the membership code. So we have the master record, the members table is the master, and then the store visits, members can join, or members can visit the store multiple times. All right, so this is the design, and then below here what we have is the description of what all of these fields mean. So what I'd ask you to do is download. So I'd like you to download. So this is going to be done on a team basis. All right, so we need to make sure that at least one team member has a PC that can run, that has Microsoft Office running on it. So we'll need that. What I would need for you to do is download the database. Take a look at it inside of kind of what we're doing here. So we kind of poke around with the database and the Access database. Kind of just get familiar with the tables and whatnot, and then also download the ERD. All right, and take a look at, kind of read through that. I think it's important that you're comfortable with what the structure of this thing looks like, because this is where we're going to be living for the next couple of weeks, as we're kind of working our way through this. All right, the thing with databases and this stuff is there's a lot of pieces to it, and it kind of takes a little while to kind of get comfortable and familiar with it. So so starting out, what we're going to do is we're just going to do a kind of download it, make sure we can get access to it, get familiar with it, look at the structure of it, and then we're going to come back in and we'll start doing some work around accessing data and looking at some of these scenarios of where we can do some queries and things like that. All right, so that's it for now.